Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making Valentine's Day chocolate and coconut heart-shaped tart. As unpopular as it can be, I love Valentine's Day. Sue me. In my romantic mind, one whole day dedicated entirely to love is the best thing ever. The International Day of Love is also the perfect excuse so that one can indulge in plenty of decadent sweet treats all day long. Count me in. And yes, your good old typical box of chocolate and red rose will work just fine. However, I think that if you have that significant other in your life, a little elbow grease can't hurt. After all, it is your significant other, right? So, I've created a simple yet delicious sweetness that will say I love you loud and clear, and your loved one will be over the moon. You'll thank me later, no problem, I can wait. In the meantime, watch my video and learn how to make my awesome Valentine's Day chocolate and coconut heart-shaped tart. As usual, the recipe is on my site, the link is down below. To make short crust pastry, I've placed sifted flour into a large bowl. I'll add sifted almond flour, powdered sugar, and vanilla powder, and I will stir with a whisk. Then I'll add cold butter cut in cubes and rub the dry ingredients into the butter with my fingertips until I get crumbly mixture. Now I'll add egg yolks and make the dough. I'll add some red and pink gel coloring and knead it into the dough. I will wrap it in plastic foil and put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes. I've divided my dough in 2 equal parts. I've placed one piece of parchment paper onto my counter and now I will put one half of the dough onto it. First, I will press it with my fingers to flatten it a bit. Then, I'll put another piece of parchment paper onto the dough and press it to stick to it. I will roll out the dough to 3 mm, which is 1/8 of an inch, using my adjustable rolling pin. I'm rolling from the center towards one end, at the same time holding the opposite side of the paper with my hand, so the paper doesn't slide or wrinkle. This is good, so I will put everything in the freezer for about 20 minutes to chill. I've put one more piece of parchment paper onto my counter. First, I will place my heart-shaped tart mold onto it and trace its shape with my pencil. Then I'll flip the paper. I will put the remaining dough on the paper and spread it with my fingers. I want to make sure the dough is spread wide enough. Now I will put another piece of parchment paper onto the dough and press it to stick to it. I will roll out my dough to 3 mm, which is 1/8 of an inch thickness, the same way as I did before, from the center towards the end, at the same time holding the opposite part of the paper so it doesn't slide or wrinkle. This is good, so I'll put everything in the freezer for about 20 minutes to chill. To line my tart mold, first I will measure its half circumference with my measuring tape. My pastry is chilled. First, I will peel off the parchment paper. I need 2 33 cm, which is 13 inches long strips of pastry. Now I'll cut the pastry in half lengthwise using my pizza wheel. Then I'll make 2 strips approximately 4 cm, which is about 1.5 inches wide. I will cut my strips to 33 cm, which is 13 inches length, and then I will put them back in the freezer until I prepare the bottom of my tart. I will peel off the parchment paper from the second half of my pastry, and then I'll place my cardboard template onto it. To make the template, I've traced the mold and then trimmed the cardboard until I made the template that is about 5 mm, about 1/4 of an inch smaller than my heart-shaped tart mold. Now I'll cut the pastry using my small knife. I've put my tart mold onto a perforated silicone mat, and first I will line the sides of my tart with pastry strips. I will remove the excess pastry and gently press it into the sides of the mold. Then I'll insert the heart into the mold and smooth the interior with my fingers. I will remove the excess pastry from the sides of the tart using a small knife and then put everything in the fridge for about 20 minutes. I will bake my tart at 170 degrees centigrade, which is 340 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 12 minutes. To make a ganache, I'll pour hot cream over dark chocolate. I will leave this for about 1 minute until the hot cream melts the chocolate. Then I'll stir well to combine. My tart shell is done and cooled. I will pour dark chocolate ganache into the tart shell immediately. I'll gently shake my tart to distribute the ganache evenly, and then I will put it in the fridge to set. To make white chocolate and coconut ganache, I'll soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I'll take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've put whipping cream into a bowl, and now I'll add unsweetened shredded coconut and stir well with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave, cover it with cling film, and leave it on the counter for about 15 minutes to infuse. Then I'll run it through a sieve. Now I will weigh the cream because I need only 115 grams, which is 4 ounces, to make my ganache. I've heated my cream in the microwave once more. Now I'll add soaked and strained gelatin into the hot cream and stir until it melts. I've melted my white chocolate in the microwave on low heat, and now I'll add the cream and gelatin mixture. I'll stir with a whisk until the mixture becomes uniform. Then I will pour the ganache into the tart. I will puncture the air bubbles using my wooden skewer. I will put my tart in the fridge for about an hour until it sets. My tart is set, and now I'll decorate it with some fresh roses and strawberries. There, my lovely Valentine's Day chocolate and coconut heart-shaped tart is done. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody!
Oh baby, you are so sweet, so delicious and yummy, so good to eat. I wanna lick you, feel your sweetness on my lips. Forever and ever, you'll stay on my hips.
I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook, The Pastry Chef, and maybe buy me a macaron, if you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!